to RELaunch Live Podcast. RELaunch Live Podcast. Talking all things real estate, the strategies that build it, and sharing their own life-changing growth plans. They are two of the most dynamic people in the business with one common goal: to make you rethink, reimagine, and be re-inspired in your life and business. Welcome to the RELaunch Live Podcast with your hosts, Veronica Figueroa and Jeff Lobb.
All right. Hey, welcome back to another RELaunch Live, making you rethink, reimagine, and absolutely be re-inspired. And I'm so thrilled to be with my co-host in the same visual screen today, Veronica Figueroa. What's up, V?
Hey, yeah, and today is definitely not short of that. We've got two very, very special guests today who have inspired me. Once you guys get to know them, you're definitely going to realize why they're here, what they've been able to build, the lives that they've been able to impact, the mission that they carry that happens to be obviously a mission that they get to carry through real estate. And their, just their energy, Jeff, once everyone gets to experience them, I'm sure everyone's going to know who they are, want to get to connect with them because they definitely embody everything about, reimagining the way real estate should be done and creating wealth and working smarter, not harder, and just being around really great people that inspire you. So I want to welcome Andres and Kelly Ospina, personal friends of mine. And, you guys are just game changers. You really are. Very, very young leaders, I think, self-made millionaires, just through the passion that you have of real estate, but also building a portfolio through Airbnbs. We're going to talk about a little bit of Airbnbs and also your mission of ecologic friendly housing and your passion for design. So, we'll get started. Jeff, I know you got tons of questions. I kind of did a little intro earlier, but these two are...
Just from the pre-video, I might be ready to start buying and getting more doors now. Like I may be in touch with them right after the show, but welcome, guys.
Yeah, they're the real deal, man.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for inviting us. It's definitely a pleasure to be here, and we're always happy to share and learn from other people. This is the way to do it as a community, so we're happy to be here.
So, people just don't wake up or go through school and go, I'm going to be in real estate. I'm going to be Airbnb kings and queens, right? That's not how it works.
That doesn't happen.
I haven't found that yet. So you got to give us this backstory. Where'd you start? And then we want to get to where you are. So you're young now. So how'd you get started?
Absolutely. Yeah. So, I was born in Colombia. So, didn't come from a lot of money, poverty basically in Colombia, third world country. I came to the United States at 9 years old with just my mom and basically searching for the American dream, right? We were finding out that Colombia wasn't doing well. We came here, started working at 9 years old, very, very early. And my mom basically said, hey, you're going to have to work hard because I don't have a lot of money. So you got to go do it. So yeah, essentially I've always been wanting, I've been fascinated with being financially free. And for some reason, at a very young age, I said, I'm going to be a millionaire. At like 13, 14 years old, I said, I'm going to do it. Wow. And I kept telling everybody, I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to be a millionaire. And everybody used to make fun of me. And I've just had that in my mindset. I've always researched how do people become millionaires. And the more and more I researched that, real estate kept popping up. So I was very frugal when I started working, saved all my money. And I said, okay, what do rich people do? They make their money work for them. So I took, about $20,000 back in 2014. And I decided to get my real estate license because I wanted to become an investor, to become financially free in real estate. So in 2014, I got my license and I actually started at Exit with Gil Ramos, which is now EXP, obviously. And, I was at one of his trainings and he said that he used to invest in real estate and he used to flip homes. And I told him, hey man, I want to do a flip with you. And that's basically how I got started. I got started with one flip with Gil in 2014. And I did some flips starting in 2014. I did about 3. And then in 2016, I bought my first primary residence for me to live in. And that's basically where everything started. In 2016, I also met my beautiful wife, Kelly. So that was a huge, huge year for me, buying my first house for me to live in and obviously finding the love of my life. And starting our first Airbnb. Basically, it was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath with a 1-car garage. I decided to convert the 1-car garage into an efficiency. It was only about 200 square feet. We added a full kitchen, full bathroom, independent entrance, and decided to rent it on Airbnb. And back then, there was not a lot of competition. So we basically, made about $2,000 a month on just the garage. The mortgage was $1,200. And we rented out the other 2 rooms in the main house on Airbnb. Also, each room made about $1,000 a month. So basically, we were grossing $4,000 a month in this one house. The mortgage was $1,200. We were living for free, and we said, "Oh my God, we need to duplicate this, and we need to 10x this." And that's exactly what we did. And basically, now we own over 40, I think it's 42 or 43 doors on Airbnb. We do probably about 5 to 7 fix and flip properties a year. And we are helping about 40 people buy and sell real estate every year. And retail.
Are you all in the Florida market mainly? Is all your properties there? Where you at?
So most of our properties are in Central Florida. We have one in Hawaii, we have one in St. Petersburg, and then one in Melbourne. But yeah, Central Florida is our main
That's
niche.
the main focus so far.
That's awesome. I don't know if you know, we have a couple things in common already. So you said Exit Realty. It's where a lot of my one bigger start of my career was. I've been in 30 some years, but I was an executive for Exit Realty for many years.
Oh wow, okay.
So I had to get to meet Gil as well. So funny things.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I love the young energy, the story. But back then Airbnb was kind of fresh and just kind of getting not started, but it was a little bit more Wild West-ish, right? You could do things like, I'm impressed you were able to even rent rooms, never mind the whole house. Like you were renting a room and a garage. That's pretty creative.
I remember the first time I heard about Airbnb, someone had told me, and it was someone who used to work with me. And she's kind of like very adventurous, and she was going on a vacation, and she said, yeah, you sleep on someone's, couch or like a private room or something like that.
And door mattress.
It was like 2000 and I want to say 11 or 10. And she's like, yeah, she's like, and I just I was like, what is this B&B? What? I was like, what? Like it's like thinking about the time that you were told your whole life, you never ride with a stranger, you never sleep over someone's house and all this. And I remember when she told me this, and I was like, I'll never forget where I was when I heard that first concept. And I thought it was ludicrous. Like never in my wild dreams did I think. I was like, who in the world would stay in someone's place? Right. And now it's like,
taking over.
Have a couple Airbnbs, not as many as them, but they're like, so inspiring. But it's crazy when I heard the first concept and the fact that you guys got in pretty early and you guys have no small children. So like someone else who's starting out might think, well, I'm not going to have someone live in my same house or rent out rooms. You guys, we're young, you're willing to make sacrifices. And we call that house hacking, right? It was house hacking. But then you really got into the idea of you converted the garage, separate entrances. Obviously, you pull permits. It's got to be in certain areas that it's approved. You usually will take a 2-1 and turn it into a 3-2, right? Extend the garage, close the garage out. So there's a lot of different things you guys have learned along the way. You may have started off with, saying, yeah, and we love people. We might have someone from, Hawaii here today or someone from Australia, and we love making friends, right? That might not be practical for everyone, but it worked for you guys because you guys young, no kids, you're adventurous. I think you like are real life gypsies in a good way. You get up and go. But, the idea of where you identify properties and then you're saying, hey, we can extend this property. We can expand it. We can turn this 2-1 into a 3-2. Walk people through that because I know that's more practical for some people that says, well, I can't do that, but I could do this.
Yeah.
Sure, that's one of the things that I think has been differentiating us and also helping us to scale faster because we don't look at one house as one door. We basically look at every bedroom as one door in the house. Of course, there is a lot of different variables that you have to account with that. Like Veronica was saying, depending where the house is located, the legalities, the zoning, the permits. And as the time passes, Also, the county and the city have been implying a couple more rules and regulations because it's been getting more popular. So we all know there's a lot of people that are getting into this business. But basically what we do is when we walk through a house, we look at it as how many bedrooms does it have? How many more doors can we create? For example, if there is a carport or a garage, that's definitely the first thing we're going to look at because we're going to see that as additional space that can be converted. Right now, if you have a house with a garage, your appraisal is not really counting the garage as part of the square footage of the house, the heated square feet. So when you convert a garage and you turn it into, let's say, an additional master suite, you're not only having possibilities of acquiring more income from this space, but you're also raising your equity in your real estate property, which is one of the biggest things for us, because when we're buying these houses, of course, we're getting them under market value as well. Usually we find them either off market, wholesale, or depending with the partners, directly with sellers. We paid lower the market price for them, but we raised the value after doing the improvements and adding this square footage that's kind of already there because you already have a roof and sometimes the walls, but it's not counted as part as the value of the property, not as good. So we go into the house, we look for the weirdest houses with the weirdest layouts. Basically, whatever house a family is not going to move into it, that's a house that's going to work for us. Because we can redesign and redistribute the floor plan of the property to make it work for more than one family to live there. And this is something that's actually allowed, depending on the county that you're in. Different counties have different amount of people, but usually it's between 3 to 5 different unrelated parties that can live in the same house. So you can legally do this, and you can still have, let's say, connections between the units that you create, because if you have R1 zoning single family house, you still have to make sure that you comply with the rules and you have this property all connected, but you can kind of divide it into different units and do like kitchenettes for them. So that's how we started growing, and we decided that, hey, this is instead of just making one profit, why not diversify our risk as well? Because if we have 3 units, one is not renting, guess what? We're going to still be able to pay the mortgage with the rest.
Yeah. So usually the deal with the garage conversion, to me, it's kind of a no-brainer because it really is. It's a house without, just very, very small components. And this is the way that we look at it. Okay, so usually, let's say it costs us about $40,000, maybe $50,000 max to convert a garage into a living unit, right? Usually a 2-car garage is easily, let's say, $400 a square foot. Easily, depending on your location, obviously, the price per square foot under air is easily $200 a square foot. In some areas, $300. So let's just say $200 a square foot. You're talking about an $80,000 value that only costs you anywhere from $40,000 to $50,000. So just there in itself, you're already getting a good return, right? You're investing $50,000 and boom, now your property went up in value almost $80,000. Sometimes in the areas where we buy, when we put that $40,000 or $50,000 in, our property value goes up about $100,000, $100,000 to $120,000 because of the price per square foot in the area is like $275. So usually you almost double your money there. And usually in the rental income that we generate from the property, it's about $2,000 to $2,500 a month. So the cash on cash return on that is great. When we're done with the conversion, we refinance, so we pull out the money. So it's basically a no-brainer for us. It's a win-win-win. You get your money back, the property appreciates, you get additional rental income. So that's kind of a no-brainer. That's why we love the garage conversions. It's I love it. I think it's a great deal, and
it also helps with the affordable housing crisis.
Yeah.
Right now, one family sometimes is not able to afford the mortgage payment on the rent for the whole property. If you divide the risk, and that's actually something we're getting into this year as well with new construction. We're going to be building new construction in an affordable way, and we're making our best to make it possible so these units can also have that kind of in-law suite, guest suite, so they can help each other to pay off the mortgage.
All right. So I get so many good questions running through my head because I live in New Jersey, and it's like one of the most litigious, crazy spots where they have millions of more rules than you guys do. But I'm so intrigued by how you're doing this. So 2 tactical questions. just to clarify. So when you're doing this garage conversion, are you turning it into just a full suite, like a bedroom, a little kitchenette, separate door entrance, and that is one full unit where I could eat, cook, and sleep in, like a studio? Is that what that's looking like?
Exactly. Okay. So yeah, right now where we're calling you from is one of the crazy, ugly houses that we bought. That actually I had to negotiate more with her to buy it than with the seller. She didn't want to buy it at all. She didn't see it. She was like, "No, this house is ugly."
It was too bad.
Yeah, it was kind of ugly, but I loved it because I saw the vision. It had a 2-car carport. It had already like 2 in-law suites basically already made. It's a corner lot. So we like corner lots because of the parking and because of the accessibility. So corner lots are one of the best ones for this type of strategy that we have. So the house that we live in right now, we bought it as a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, and now it's a 7-bedroom, 5-bath. We converted the 2-car carport. And we actually live in the 2-car carport.
This is
we live in 500 square
right
feet right now. We rent out the rest of the house, and just this house alone, with us living here, grosses about $6,800 a month. Our mortgage is $2,000, so that's pretty cool. But to
answer specifically, as far as the layout, it will be a garage will be converted into a suite with a space for you to sleep. Sometimes can be divided, sometimes open. But it will be a space for you to sleep, a bathroom, a kitchenette, and a private entrance. There is no full kitchens. You're only allowed to have one full kitchen on R1 zoning, single family house. But you can have kitchenettes like wet bars anyway. And sometimes we also add laundry facilities to that space, depending on the floor plan, depending on the layout and the space. So sometimes the 2-car garage can either feed 2 to 4 guests, depending on the way it is divided, because sometimes we do enclose, let's say, the bedroom area, and then we have a living area with the bathroom, and the living area serves to sleep 2 people, and then you have 2 people in the bedrooms. The reason why I'm talking about how many people can sleep is because we found out that's the best way to generate more income. The more people you can sleep in a house, the more income you're going to generate in the property.
And it's also more energy efficient too. It's very eco-friendly, and it's basically like building a tiny house out of your garage. Essentially, that's what it is, and that's one of the reasons why we like it too. Because it's very eco-friendly. It doesn't have a lot of footprint. Like me and my wife would otherwise be living in like a 3-bedroom house that does have a lot more footprint on planet Earth compared to being in this thing that was already built out to be the house for a car, and now it's me and her house, and we run a mini split system, which is really inexpensive. To run the AC, it's not very, very expensive, and
it's more energy efficient, and doing things like that also allowed us to then, when we're going and checking on a house, we check on the AC, the water heater. We turn from old big water heater tanks. We remove them and we install tankless water heaters that are maybe as big as this and that are saving electricity, saving energy, helping the environment. The next level is going to be solar panels for all the houses as well.
Wow. And I want to talk about that next. But so the towns that you're doing these in aren't getting into the whole multifamily, like single family, like there's no crossover for them trying to qualify this as a multifamily?
So it depends how you do it. You do have to be very careful on the way you do it and how you work it out. And you have to make sure that you follow the rules with it. We've learned through going through the process. We learned the hard part. Nobody told us how to or where to. So we just had to kind of adjust through the process, and we found out that there are legal ways of doing it depending on the county. So you do have to make sure every county that you're in, you have to check with the rules. But usually if you have this garage converted, but the garage is still accessible to the main house to at least one door, with at least one door, you are fine.
Yeah, there's 2 ways to legally do it. Either add it as a master bedroom with a separate entrance, with access to the main house that has a wet bar. You can't call it a kitchen.
And
that's
you
one
can't
rule.
have a stove.
Yeah, you can't have a stove. Or the second thing would be to make it or turn it into an ADU, which is an accessory or a dwelling unit, which is exactly what we did on this one. We actually paid impact fees. I think we paid like $3,500 to pay the impact fees so we could actually have a full kitchen here.
And a laundry room.
And well, the laundry room you don't need to. But to have the full separate kitchen, we did have to pay impact fees on that. And in California, for example, they are very big with ADUs. It's very, very open, and that's the future, because right now we have a huge affordable housing crisis, and one of the only ways to solve it is by being more lenient with the ADUs. So everybody that's sitting on single-family homes, now technically you could turn your house into a duplex. This house here is zoned R1, and it has 2 addresses. It has 2 kitchens. It's technically a duplex. But that's where it's going to, and that's in city of Orlando. So they're getting a little bit more flexible with the ADUs. So there are 2 different ways of doing it. The rules and regulations are not there yet, but they are coming.
So Veronica, why am I still living in New Jersey? I don't get it.
You gotta move
Come
down.
over, man.
You gotta move down.
You can stay with us on Airbnb until you find a house, man. Come on, let's go.
I should be either
told
Puerto
you
Rico
that
or
you're
Florida.
inspired, and now I don't know why you live in Jersey anyways. Weather over here in Florida is a lot better.
It's cold.
We got the
It's
Airbnb,
kids.
King Queen,
6 kids in school.
But isn't this
So-
awesome? Just to
Great.
reimagine what you could do. And, I know that you guys were really big on inspiring people to, obviously make investments, agents. You've inspired me in so many ways. I'm just really glad that the world that we, co-share, Jeff and I get to know you guys. You guys have also, tell us about that Hawaii one. And before, obviously, we've got a timeline. We try to keep these at a certain amount of time. But tell me about this Hawaii one that you picked up.
Yeah, so we weren't really expecting to buy anything in Hawaii. We were celebrating our 5-year anniversary. She had always been wanting to go to Hawaii because it's been enchanting. And so we went there and we fell in love with Hawaii. We were only supposed to go for like 2 weeks, and we stayed for, I think, over a month. And because we just bought a one-way ticket, we said, you know what, we'll just figure it out. And man, we fell in love with the people, the culture, the aloha spirit. And everything kind of just worked out in it, the way it did. I'm always looking for deals. I'm always, I was on Zillow and I'm like, oh, babe, I found this deal, baby. Look, it's, it's a house. We got to negotiate it. And so, it just happened. It just happened. I guess I'm addicted to buying real estate deals. Is that a thing? I don't know. I mean, I guess I am.
Some people like shoes or cars or like houses.
Yeah, well, I fell in love with one of the islands. Big Island is one of the coolest. It's actually the biggest, oldest island in Hawaii. If you guys haven't been, it's beautiful. It has an active volcano, which is pretty crazy. And I fell in love with it because it's one of the most affordable islands there. And we just found the right deal. It was 2 acres, and I think we bought it for like $60,000 or $65,000, something crazy like that. Obviously, it was a fixer-upper. But we like that there's not a lot of rules and regulations there. There's a lot of unpermitted buildings, and they're all totally okay with that. And it's basically like the Wild Wild West. There's not a lot of rules and regulations. And we were researching that specific area, and we saw that there was a lot of sustainable communities. There's because they have to. There's no power. There's nothing. It's literally just the island, and there's no connection. So you have to have the water reclamation system. You have to have solar panels. So right now we're actually building a sustainable community, and we have solar panels. We have the water reclamation. We have a fruit and vegetable garden there, and we have 3 people that are living in our property right now that are basically doing a work trade, and they're basically fixing up the property. We're going to have basically a sustainable community there. Basically, it's going to be an Airbnb experience.
Yes, the goal is to do it more as a retreat. So I don't know if you guys have heard of glamping. Glamping basically is the glamorous way of camping. So mixing those 2 together, bringing in nature with comfort, that's what we want to deliver with an experience. So it's going to be something that people go there to take a step away from their hectic life and reconnect with Mother Nature. And by that, having a great experience of learning how the sustainable way of living can be. And then maybe they can come back home and implement some of those things, so we can all give our little piece of sand, so we can work together to, at the end of the day, help more the environment, because that's our end goal. But yeah, this property in Hawaii has been very exciting, unexpected, but I think everything just happens for a reason. Most of the properties that we end up buying are kind of happening by coincidence. It's not really coincidence, it's just meant to be. And we just take the risk. And this guy right here is a huge risk taker.
To the risk takers. I'm going to take a risk, and I'm going to say that we're going to have you back that you're going to come back and give people the play-by-play on how they were to get started. If they want to reach out to you, obviously your handles down, Kelly _ Airbnb expert and Andres _ Airbnb expert. And Jeff, you have a pretty awesome coaching platform, Coach 52. I don't know. What do you say you get a little Airbnb segment in there and we invite them to, be some co-hosts on there? Because I think
we probably could.
There's something here that we're through it.
Sure.
And they're amazing leaders. But guys, if you want to learn more about Andres and Kelly, hit them up. They're amazing leaders. Follow them on IG. They're just a breath of fresh air, as you can tell. Young, dynamic, inspiring leaders who can help you, who are just building a life by design. What I love, there's so much more to them behind their mission and their mission on health, on taking care of your mindset, taking care of your body, taking care of your just overall, right? Everything, your life. They've been huge mentors to me too. So I'm just glad that you guys were able to be a part of Relaunch Live, blessing this community. And here's this. I'm just going to ask you, will you come back and be our guest again?
Definitely. It will be our pleasure.
We can cover so much ground.
There's so much more to get into, but for this episode, man, I'm excited. So
yeah, this is really great. Here's what I'll do. We'll dangle that carrot. Make sure you tune in. We'll bring them back. And if we can do this, then you guys will be on the next episode. It'll be even great. Segment 2 with the Airbnb King and Queen expert. So they can give you some of the tips on, let's do this. The next time it's on how to fund the deal. Where to find the people who are going to fund the deal and who to partner with. And if there's always ever an opportunity where they can partner with you. So, all right, guys, I want to thank everyone for joining us back on Relaunch Live, where you come to get to rethink, reimagine, and be re-inspired with your business. Thank you so much with my co-host, Jeff Lobb. We'll see you guys next time.
Thank you so much, guys. Have an amazing day. Be blessed.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to the Relaunch Live Podcast, helping you rethink, reimagine, and be re-inspired in your life and business. Make sure to like, rate, and review the show. Find the show on Apple, Google Play, Spotify, and YouTube. See you next time.